Hey, how are you today? All right, let's go. So now we know that most decisions in government throughout Africa are made by men, right? It's true. But behind every good man is a great woman. And that is so true. Now, Africa is lucky enough to have some awesome first ladies to balance out governance. But in some cases, some African leaders, better halves, take their title as first lady just a bit too far, right? Now, here's a look at my pick of Africa's most scandalous first ladies. All right, this is gonna be fun. At number 5 is 45-year-old Inkhosikati Lambikiza. Did I get that right? I hope so. The official first lady of Swaziland. She married Swaziland King Museveni III at the tender age of 16. Although she is actually wife number 3, she, my people, was handpicked by the king himself. The first 2 wives were arranged. So, she's the one regularly seen on the arm of the king. Now, this lady is known for her glamour and wild fashion sense. Her attire alone has, over the course of her royalty, created serious buzz. In 2012, while attending Queen Elizabeth II's 60th year on the throne celebration, Inkhosikati made fashion headlines with her fancy layered poofy gowns, sparkling bodice, and pearl-covered pumps, which cost over $1,500. And what do you expect for a wife or for wives who are used to $10 million vacations? Anyway, besides all of this, Inkhosikati, according to reports, has a genuine rebellious streak. She even qualifies to be a lawyer, but no, it's against the Swazi royal tradition for a queen to have a job. Here's rare footage of Inkhosikati discussing being one of the many queens of Swaziland.
Goes away to state visits, so there's a lot that I do.
My charity work, and there are lots of people who come to me for different reasons, sometimes empowerment. They want me to assist them in certain things.
There are still areas in which our nation's women are not able to contribute as much as they might towards the kingdom's development.
I have so many functions to attend, and in my spare time I sing.
He's the very stronghold of my life. Whom shall I fear? When my enemies attack me, when evil men advance against me, I shall not fear.
I believe at first, a lot of people were skeptical. They've heard, how can she lower herself to that standard? And how can our queen sing? It sounded ridiculous to them. I believe Christians.
That's an old clip, right? But that's all I could find of her. Okay, next at number 4 is Janet Museveni, wife of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni. Janet is often criticized for being way too involved in Ugandan government affairs. She is a very powerful figure in Uganda and very religious. She's a first lady, a minister, and a member of the Ugandan parliament. The first family has been criticized heavily for nepotism. I mean, there is a strong belief that the family is grooming their son for presidency. Let's see how that works out. Now, back in the 80s, Janet founded a relief agency supporting orphans, and now here's some juice. She became an HIV/AIDS advocate for Ugandans, and the rumor is that all of this came about after she allegedly tested positive for the virus herself during the late 80s. Now, according to reports, she got it from the president, who was wild with women back in the day. True or not, so far it's just a rumor, so don't even quote me on that. Anyway, Janet has not been caught up in many scandals lately, but in 2012, she found herself being tied to a money theft scandal where aid to Uganda was allegedly used for numerous travels to Israel. She vehemently denied the accusations, made public statements, and all. Here's a clip of Janet defending herself against those corruption charges.
When the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee resumed its probe into alleged financial misappropriation in the office of the Prime Minister this week, much was anticipated. The summoning of high-profile witnesses like First Lady Janet Museveni was key.
Nothing but the truth, so help me.
The First Lady told the committee that she was ready to answer all queries except matters regarding finances.
The PS, he's the one who knows the delegation, he's the one who knows how much money went to who. Yes. Yes.
One of the most contentious queries in the 2012 Auditor General's report that led to Mrs. Museveni's appearance before the committee was the several trips she allegedly made to Israel.
Because it's not possible for one person to go to 9 times. What will be taking a person really?
Let me state here categorically that I did travel to Israel once in September 2010 to try and look for a lasting solution to the water problem in Karamoja.
Janet Museveni denied exerting any pressure to have the funds released.
Can you tell the committee if you knew about any interest in your office and how much, and if you had any hand in managing that interest?
And I don't even think that we had a line in our budget of that interest. Interest
Yeah.
in our budget. I don't believe that.
All right, number 3 is Grace Mugabe, or Disgrace, as she is popularly referred to in Zimbabwe. She is the second wife of President Robert Mugabe, who is 41 years older than Grace. Now listen, Grace is 48 years old. Mugabe is like 89 or 90. That alone is wild. Now Grace is notorious for her excessive spending and extravagant lifestyle. She doesn't even try to hide it. She's a serious shopping addict. She once spent $120,000 in 2 hours just shopping. In 2009, on a shopping spree in Hong Kong, Grace was involved in assaulting a photographer. I mean, man, Grace's story is riddled with scandal after scandal and embarrassment. Remember in 2010 when her love affair with Zimbabwe's head of central bank emerged? And that's not even all. According to several reports, Grace has been around the clock with some men, you know? Now, what I'm saying is, I feel kind of bad for President Mugabe. But what did he expect? Their first children were conceived while Robert and Grace both were in other relationships. Anyway, besides being a mega diva and a shopping addict, Grace did start a high school in Zimbabwe, which is actually quite expensive, and a university and a hospital are in development under her direction. I know, I'm just trying to find something good to say about her. Check out this clip of Grace.
I worked in his office for a long time.
Did you, on a personal level, think the Prime Minister's a fairly attractive guy?
I actually, at that time, I looked at him as a father figure, to tell you. I did not think at all he would even look at me and say, I like that girl. I least expected that, honestly.
How did that happen? How did romance blossom?
Just like any other man, he just started, talking to me and asking me about my life. Were you married before? Things like that. But I was just saying, he's my boss. He must ask. He's just interested to know more about me, and I didn't know it was leading to somewhere.
But you yourself, did you get a...
I was quite a shy person. I'm very shy.
But you still must have...
Even if you see my daughter,
yes.
my kids are shy. I'm telling you, they're very shy.
But amongst your colleagues in the office,
yes,
they must have said to you, Gracie likes you.
No. They didn't see that.
Really?
He's, he's not a person who would, show it. So they didn't actually know that at all.
Whilst love blossomed between the couple and children followed, Robert Mugabe was still married to his late wife Sally, who was terminally ill at the time.
Grace Mugabe. All right, my number 2 is Patience Jonathan, aka Mama Peace. Now, she's the wife of Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan. And to many people, Patience has severely overstepped her limits as First Lady, putting her up in ranks as one of Nigeria's most controversial First Ladies. I mean, this lady stays headlining Nigerian and international newspapers. She's most popular for her many speaking bloopers, where whatever comes up, comes out. But on a serious note, in 2012, all hell broke loose when Patience was elected Bielsa's state permanent secretary. Several politicians condemned the appointment, noting that the First Lady does not deserve the title, and rightfully so. I mean, she is the First Lady, for God's sake. Now, again in 2012, more uproar emerged when patients wore an outfit to her brother-in-law's burial and seemed to have a wardrobe malfunction in like the boobs area. People went wild and criticizing her for not wearing a bra. Another big outrage came in 2013 when patients accepted an honorary doctorate degree from a South Korea university in the midst of Nigeria's 5-month-long university school strikes. Now that's not cool. Here's a clip of the many properties belonging to the first family of patients Jonathan. To look twice at that compound. It really was massive. All right, now number 1 is the boisterous diva Chantel Biya, the first lady of Cameroon. She's the second wife of President Paul Biya, who is 38 years older than Chantel, aka Chateau, as local Cameroonians refer to her. Now you all know her, right? Like, how can you not? Her majestic, larger-than-life fashion sense is always in the news, and you can't help but to gaze at her signature styled big hair known as the banane. I hope I said that right. Now, she's the daughter of a French expatriate, and it's noted that she had a very modest upbringing, obviously a total contrast to the notorious lifestyle she lives now or today. So, besides being just the first lady with her own signature style, she's also created her own political endeavors, namely the Chantel Biya Foundation and African Synergy, both aimed at humanitarian work and the elimination of HIV/AIDS, which she better be for real about since Cameroon has the highest HIV/AIDS rates in West Africa. Now, Chantel is just as bold as her dictator husband. In 2010, Cameroonian author Bertrand Tailloux was arrested and charged for insulting Chantel in his book, The Belle of the Banana Republic, Chantel Biya, From the Streets to the Palace. Here's a clip of Chantel and Paul amongst their entourage. Chantel Biya. Her hair is like horrible and beautiful at the same time. All right, now that's it. So I know what you're thinking. There are a couple of other African first ladies who have really earned a spot on this list, like Ana Paula dos Santos, Angola's first lady, you know her, right? And the Gambia's first lady, Zainab Jama. Now, these are some real divas, but sourcing footage of these first ladies is quite difficult, and we can thank their government's extreme clampdown on the press for that. Anyway, what do you think? Did I leave off your first lady? Tell me. I want to hear from you. Email me at tracytv@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter and Facebook. Just type in TracyTV. Check the spelling. Stick around, guys. There's much more coming up.